Hey everybody, welcome to Spikey Saturday number 61 on the Mana Leek. I'm John as always, and today we're going to be doing some more Battle for Zendikar drafting because there's not much else to do. We've got probably a month and maybe a couple of weeks after that left of Battle for Zendikar before we start doing Nope, that's not how it goes. Oath of the Gate Watch, not Gate of the Oath Watch. And that'll be a fun format. It'll be Oath Battle. This video may sound a little bit weird. I sort of forgot to unmute my microphone, so I am doing post voiceover recording here. So this first pack here, there was an Ulamog's Nullifier, which I was kind of happy to see, and then surprised to see that there was basically nothing else in the pack other than a Gideon's Reproach. I really see absolutely nothing first pickable here outside of the Reproach and the Nullifier. I was really kind of him and hawing about what I wanted to take. I don't like taking gold cards, and Nullifier doesn't quite feel like a first pick gold card, but we all know that I love blue-black. Blue-black control is fantastic, so I do take the Nullifier. The pack that comes up, we see a Zulaport Cutthroat and a Clutch of Currents. Clutch of Currents gets highlighted right away, and there was nothing else in that pack. Follow that up with a Lumbering Falls, which I quickly checked the price on, and yeah, it's like 90 cents or something, not worth it. But there's an Ulamog's Despoiler, which is a nice finisher, especially if I get enough ingest creatures going. In the rest of the pack, there's not much. There's a Gideon's Reproach again, and then it kind of drops off as far as blue-black goes, so I do take the Despoiler. Follow that up with a Horribly Awry, which I'm pretty happy to see. There's also a Merc Strider. I think maybe I could get the Merc Strider back. It looks like I'll get 4 cards back. I kind of figured I'd get maybe the Merc Strider, the Invoker, the Brilliant Spectrum, and then maybe the Lookout. Or no, I would get a Mountain back, of course. But yeah, I do take the Horribly Awry because it's uncommon. I'm less likely to see any of those ever again, whereas I probably will see a Merc Strider. Follow that up, there's a Dominator Drone, fits in the deck quite nicely, and literally nothing else in the pack. There's a Hogra Sharpshooter, but it's never really performed for me, not anywhere near the level that I would hoped it would have when I reviewed the set anyways. This pack, we've got an Incubator Drone, we've got good old Sludgy, and an Anticipate. I do think Incubator Drone ever so slightly edges out the Sludge Crawler, so I do go with the Drone here. Follow that up with a bit of blue. We've got a relatively late Spell Shrivel and the one blue drop that I just totally blanked on the name of. But I do take the Spell Shrivel because I do love Spell Shrivels quite a bit. So we follow that up with another Spell Shrivel and another Sludgy. I do want a Sludge Crawler at some point, but I don't think I'll pass up a second Spell Shrivel. Because, of course, if I take it now, I don't have to worry about taking any more kind of in Pack 2 or in Pack 3. So I do go for that Spell Shrivel, and I'm pretty happy with that. 3 counters this early is kind of the base for a really solid control deck. So pretty happy to see that. And I don't think I'll need any more Spell Shrivels for the rest of the draft. Follow that up, there's the Dampening Pulse. We got our Sanctum back. There's also a Mindraker. I still don't like Dampening Pulse, but so many people have talked about it being good, and I've seen it played in winning decks, so I do take it here and figure, well, today will be the day I give it a try. Get another pack with absolutely nothing here. I'm not going to play a Myers Malice, so I figure I'll hate something. The best card, quote-unquote, to hate might be the Shatterskull, so I do take the Shatterskull. I think Stalwart might be slightly better, but of course we shouldn't come up against too much green. Follow that up with another Shatterskull, another Oran Reef Invoker, Stonehaven Medic, and an Arcana Assassin, which is the only card that we might actually play. I don't think I'll have any life gain, so I do take it, but I don't think I want to play it. Here's the pack we get back where I predicted what we would get, and I was basically right, except we got a Voracious Null back instead of the Merc Strider or the Cliffside Lookout. So I take the Null, could play it, but I don't think so, so off to the sideboard it goes. Follow that up, we've got a Dutiful Return and a Reckless Cohort. I don't think I'm going to play the Return. I do not like the card. I've yet to play it, so I take it, but throw it away. Take a Pathway Arrows, throw that away. And we get a basic land. And I noticed that there are an awful lot of people with the Birds of Paradise avatar in this draft. Maybe they're all new, maybe they're just lazy and haven't changed their avatar. Who knows? But we take that basic land and we get ready for Pack 2. And I'm pretty happy about the deck so far. It's kind of mono-blue. We've only got 2 black cards. So it's a blue-black deck. I'd like to get maybe another finisher, and some more creatures, of course. Pack 2, we opened up an Oblivion Sower. It's not worth much, I don't think anyways, but it's a super solid card. Plus, there's also just not very much else in this pack for us. There's a Silent Skimmer, I guess, and a Blighted Fen. Oblivion Sower is the clear pick here, though. It's a nice other finisher, super powerful effect, so I take it. Adverse Conditions I see right away, and then I see a Benthic Infiltrator, and then I see a Calastria Healer, and also a Salvage Drone. That's the name of the one drop I was trying to think. So I kind of debated between Adverse Conditions a little bit and Benthic Infiltrator. I did eventually just go for the Benthic Infiltrator because I figured, hey, that repeatable, unblockable ingest is just really, 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 really good. Adverse Conditions is great if I'm up against something aggressive. Benthic Infiltrator is something I kind of want all the time. Next pack, I get a Tightening Coils, and then there's also a Bone Splinters and an Oracle of Dust and an Ulamog's Reclaimer. None of them really compare to Tightening Coils. Ulamog's Reclaimer would be nice to have. I do have 3 counters already and a clutch, but I think Tightening Coils is just better, so we take it. And then there's a long pause here, so I must have been talking about something, but I don't remember what. Next pack, we get a Demon's Grasp and a Tightening Coils. I think I was talking about how I wanted a Demon's Grasp or a Complete Disregard. But I see that second Tightening Coils, and I think, well, Tightening Coils feels a little bit better than Demon's Grasp. It doesn't kill the creature, but it does 1 extra power of sort of removal. Plus it knocks flyers out of the air, which hopefully I'll get some of those. So I do just take the second Tightening Coils and continue my almost totally mono blue deck, except for that Nullifier and that one little Dominator drone down there. Next pack, we get a second little Dominator drone down there, and nothing else. There's a Dispel, a Night Watch, but just nothing for us other than that Dominator drone, which I'm happy to have. Next pack, we've got a Kozilek's Channeler, the only blue-black card that I would even slightly consider playing is the Coral Helm guy, or Coral Helm Scout, I think it is, but it's a very vague consideration, so I do take the Channeler. I'm not usually a big fan of it unless it's in the ramp deck, so I don't know if I'll keep it, but I do take it. There's another Nakana Assassin. I do check. Yes, I have already taken one, but there's also just nothing else here. I'm not going to ever play a Brilliant Spectrum, and there's nothing that I really want to hate out. I mean, maybe Courier Griffin? So I do just take the Nakana Assassin, and I say, hey, I'll play this second one. The first one, you can stay off in the sideboard. Next pack, we get a Cloud Manta. Pretty happy about that. There is also a Sludge Crawler. I do want a Sludge Crawler at some point, but Cloud Manta is a 3/2 flyer. That can be a finisher-ish on its own, or with a buddy, it can very much be a kind of a finisher. So I do take that Cloud Manta. This pack, I say, oh, there's not much here. I guess I'll take that sideboard. Wait a minute. There's a Blighted Fen. How did I miss that? I was going to take the Royal Spout. Can't remember what it's called. Royal Mage's Trick. But I did take the Blighted Fen instead. Next pack, there was a Salvage Drone. I pretty quickly took that. There was not much else going on there. And it's nice to have a little one-drop dude. I must have been talking about something here as well, because there was a long pause. And hey, it's my pack back with an Ulamog's Reclaimer. I did not expect that to come back around. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm still sitting in the same position, though. I still have 3 counters and a Clutch of Currents. There wasn't much else in the pack, though, and it is a 2/5, so I do take it, and I feel like I'll be pretty happy with it, because I'll hopefully get a Complete Disregard or a Demon's Grasp or some more spells. In this pack, we've got a Devastator and an Oracle of Dust. I take the Oracle of Dust. I don't super want to play it. It is fine, and I have played it more often than I've cut it, but it will look to be cut, I think, in this deck. Earthen Arms, Inspired Charge. I take the Earthen Arms. Doesn't really matter there. Plummet, sure, get out of there. Hopefully I'll have flyers beyond just the Cloud Manta and the Nullifier, so I don't want people plummeting my flyers, and we take our basic land. So here we are, end of pack 2, and we've got, I think that says 20, maybe 22 playables. I'm looking at this in a small window as I record this. So pack 3, we get a Sunken Hollow, which is worth, like $1.70. It's almost $2, almost a half a pack. There is a Mist Intruder that I would love to have, but I mean, Sunken Hollow's the 2 colors of our deck, and it is a half a pack, and I hopefully can get another Mist Intruder. There's not much else going on in the pack, so I do just take the Sunken Hollow. Follow that up, we've got a Malakir Familiar or a Cloud Manta, and then nothing really else. Both of these are flyers. One has an extra power. Malakir Familiar is, I think, a little bit better if you can activate it. I take a look at my deck and realize, no, I can't activate it at all. So I do go for the ever so slightly more powerful and less death touchy Cloud Manta. There's a Reclaimer in this pack and another Clutch of Currents and then nothing else. I have a Reclaimer, so I just take the second Clutch because, hey, 2 clutches are better than 1 clutch. And that also helps my Ulamog's Reclaimer that I already have, because now I have 3 counters and 2 bounce spells that I can return with it. Next pack, we see a Mindraker, a Royal Mage's Trick. Is it Royal Mage's Trick? I can't remember what it's called anymore. Mindraker, I guess, is the pick here. I'll play that over the sideboard card, but I'm definitely going to look to cut that. Royal Mage's Trick it is. I just grabbed a pile of cards that are sitting beside me from Crack-a-Packs to confirm. I must have been talking about something here as well that I also forget. I need to remember to make sure that I unmute my microphone in the future. Hey, there's a Bring Delight in this pack. I remember this card being very valuable at the beginning of this season, and me being shocked at how valuable it was. And then a couple weeks ago, I was drafting at the store, and I saw that pack 1 pick 1, and I was like, ooh, maybe I value pick this. Let me check the price. And I was shocked to discover how unvaluable it is now. So realistically in this pack, there's a Salvage Drone, and that's about it. So I take it because, hey, I'll play 2 Salvage Drones. And then there's a Clutch of Currents and a Spell Shrivel. And I have to decide, do I want a 3rd Spell Shrivel, or do I want a 3rd Clutch of Currents? And I thought about this for a bit because I do love Spell Shrivel, but Spell Shrivel does fall off in the later game. You know, when your opponent hits 9-10 mana, if they do, if the game goes that long, you know, you're not going to be countering anything that they're going to be playing except like an Ulamog or something above 6 mana. So I do eventually talk myself into the 3rd Clutch of Currents. Because if you have 3, of course, you can use one as an on-summon, and then you can use the other ones with the Awaken cost and not feel quite as bad. Plus, it continues to fuel up my Ulamog's Reclaimer. This pack has a Deathless Behemoth. It also has a Bone Splinters. I really go back and forth here because I don't have much removal. I have counters. Bone Splinters would be removal, but you really want to have Scion producers. I don't have an Eldrazi Sky Spawner in this deck, which must mean that there's a blue-red drafter somewhere or another blue-black drafter out there. I have 1 Scion producer. I could sack my Salvage Drones to the Bone Splinters and feel pretty happy, but there's not too much I want to just be throwing away to Bone Splinters to kill creatures. Whereas another finisher, another 6/6 for 6 feels pretty good, so I do go for that Deathless Behemoth. And then I take a look at this pack, and I say, whoa, Mist Intruder, yes, I want that because I don't think I'm going to get that first one that I passed back. This pack, there's a Skitterskin, there's a Grave Birthing, there's a Wavewing Elemental. There's really basically nothing going on in this pack. I'm not aggressive enough to be playing Skitterskin. Wavewing Elemental is so expensive, so I do go for the... What did I take there? I did take the Skitterskin. I hated that out from the black deck. I thought I took the Grave Birthing, but apparently not. This pack, nothing. I take a sideboard Dispel. The draft is feeling pretty much over. I'm going to need to make some cuts, though, because of that Mist Intruder and whatnot. So I do decide to cut out that Dampening Pulse. I decide that it is not the day that I'm going to test out Dampening Pulse. And then I take another quick look because I'm at 24 cards. I need to cut something else out. We take that Retreat. We throw it away. And I'm kind of deciding between the Ulamog's Reclaimer, sorry, not the Ulamog's Reclaimer. I'm deciding between the Oracle of Dust, the Kozilek's Channeler, or maybe a 3rd Clutch of Currents is too greedy. So I go back and forth here. I say Oracle of Dust, maybe I don't want to play it. And then I say Channeler, no. You know what? I talked about this. I don't super love Channeler. I like it in the ramp deck, but not really elsewhere. So I do end up deciding to throw away the Kozilek's Channeler, and we're left with our 23, and I'm feeling fairly happy about it. It's very, 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 very blue, with only a teensy tiny little tiny bit of black. We have 2 Dominator Drones and an Ulamog's Nullifier, and that is it. We're going to play that Blighted Fen because, hey, making our opponent sack things is cool. We're going to play that Sunken Hollow because, of course, blue-black. We are those colors. We want the black. And The mana base, who knows, we'll let Magic figure that out, but it's probably going to be very high amounts of blue and very low amounts of black. Of course, I already know what my mana base was since I am recording this after the fact, but I checked through and there's nothing else I want to add, and Magic tells me 12-3 is the way to go. That means I have 4 black sources for 3 black cards. And those Dominator drones, I'm pretty happy to play those turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, and get that Drain. Ulamog's Nullifier, I'm pretty happy to play that turn 5, turn 6, turn 7. I don't need my 3 black cards on their curve. I'm pretty happy to have them a bit later. So 4 swamps, 4 black sources does seem pretty good to me. So that is what I go with. And yeah, hopefully you guys don't mind this sort of post voiceover video too much. I'm going to make sure that I check my microphone to make sure it's on muted each time. But I will see you guys for round 1 in just a few seconds, where hopefully this deck can do some pretty good stuff.